This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I'm going to get to you in a second, but Ron is asking on the chat board, why did you get tear gassed? And I throw stuff like that out, and I keep thinking I'm back in the day where everybody knew what happened. So we were in line to see Rush at the Hollywood Sportatorium. And if you ever went to the Hollywood Sportatorium, there was a fence that was in the front on the entrance. Well, about 100 guys bum rushed that fence and jumped it. So the cops started tear gassing to try to get everybody from stopping and bum rushing the fence because the concert was sold out. Those of us that are legal paid for our tickets, we ended up smelling tear gas along the way.
Wow.
Had no choice. So, yes, that was my experience with tear gas at a concert. Yes. There you go. Anthony, you ever been to a concert where they tear gassed you?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right. You haven't lived then, bro.
I haven't lived.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't actually gone to a concert because that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, exactly. You see, you gotta, when you get tear gassed, then you know you have lived life overall. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, my brother. As always, hope you had a great July 4th.
Thank you.
The Heat have had no explosions whatsoever in their world right now. We are waiting for the big explosion to happen named Kevin Durant. So walk us through, what have you heard the last couple of days, the options that are out there. You know, I told Ira that I think the only way they will get a jump on others is if they move Bam somewhere and take Ben Simmons in along with Durant, because not a lot of teams are going to say, we'll take Durant and Ben Simmons. But since the Heat are Mr. we can get every reclamation project in the world and redo it, I almost feel like that's the caveat. That's the thing that they need. So Brooklyn says, wow, we will start really fresh. You know what I mean? Plus, trading Bam will get you more ammo to then trade to them. You know what I'm saying? So walk me through all of this. What are you hearing, and how in the hell can this possibly happen?
Yeah, things have been really quiet. As you know, they're really not even a lot has leaked. I mean, you haven't really seen much come out.
The Heat? Nothing leak?
Well, it's not even the Heat, but even just Brooklyn, right? I mean, even Brooklyn side, there just hasn't been much out there. The Heat, it's to be expected, right? But usually it leaks from somebody else, from another team. It's been really quiet.
You picked the worst team to be a beat writer for.
It's definitely difficult. They make our jobs tough.
God,
they make our jobs tough. Yeah,
it's the worst. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a worse team in all of pro sports. Forget about the NBA.
Right.
In pro sports, I don't know if there's a harder team to break the code than the Miami Heat, dude.
No, it's
seriously.
True. It's true. God. But it has been quiet, and it's kind of strange, right? I mean, since the first day of free agency, they haven't done anything, at least on the outside, right? It's right. They signed they got commitments from Victor and Dwayne to return, Dwayne Dedman. They lost PJ, and ever since then, there hasn't been any free agent movement.
Now walk me through this. Yeah. Those two are commitments. They haven't literally signed.
No,
correct?
They can't sign until tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon.
But will they sign them, or will they tell them, "Hey, you're committed. We got you"? But is there a pecking order? In other words, is it better for them to wait, or can they make them wait to sign until a Durant deal happens, or that doesn't matter whatsoever? They can sign and it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Walk us through
I mean, I guess they could make them wait, but I don't see why it would matter, because again, they don't have cap space, so they're operating over the cap. It's not like they're trying to use cap space first and then sign them, while they're over the cap using their bird rights. They're already over the cap, so I would expect that they'll sign tomorrow after noon when the moratorium lifts. But as of now, they are not signed. They're just commitments. Nobody's signed. Well, I guess first round picks couldn't sign, but free agents, they're not allowed to sign until tomorrow. Yes, I mean, but the market's cleaning, the market's thinning out. I mean, they obviously have a whole starting power forward, right? After PJ left, Caleb is still a restricted free agent. TJ Warren just signed. I'm looking at the free agent options and at the forward spot.
TJ Warren wasn't coming here to play power forward, and he's not coming. You know, Jimmy Butler's going to say, so wait a minute, I lost PJ and you're going to bring TJ? Get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not the best trade-off for Jimmy after their history. But
Oh.
Paul Millsap, Blake Griffin, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, God.
And then you get to Markieff and Caleb Martin pretty much as
The
free agency
Geritol boys are available in free agency.
Right.
I mean,
but
give me a break, dude. Metamucil selections out there. Wow. Holy shit.
I'll pose this question to you. If you really, the Heat seemingly think they have a real shot at Durant, right? That's why everything is put on hold. If you think you have a shot at Durant, is that a risk that they should be taking of watching guys like that come off the board, but you have a chance at an all-time great? And I get it. I totally understand. They might be left with, again, Caleb Martin and, I don't know. I'm just hypothetically Blake Griffin, let's say. Their roster is not as good as last year, but I think if Kevin Durant's available and you really think you have a shot at him, you got to take that chance. So I understand what they're doing.
Well, Anthony, the Heat have put themselves in this position, unfortunately, because they're a really good team, but they have to get great.
Right.
And so you can, if you do the same thing you did last year, that normally you would have a parade in Sacramento and in Charlotte and in Orlando and
almost every market. Yeah,
love for you to get to the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? That's something that would be awesome. But in this case, sucks. But if you're not better, you failed in the offseason. And it sounds so unfair and so ridiculous, but those names that you talked about aren't going to get you better. The only thing that gets you better is if you get a Durant, if you get a Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
And Donovan looks like that's done. It looks like they're going to build around him there. I had Tony Jones on Saturday, and Ira still thinks there's a shot. I disagree with Ira on this one. I agree with Tony. Tony covers the Jazz. You know Tony.
Tony.
And Tony feels they're keeping Donovan. They're going to build around him. And I think the way things are going, it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do. And they must have told him anyways, because if he's so quiet right now throughout all of this, he must know exactly what they were doing, Gobert and all. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that option's done. So if you're the Heat, Anthony, you have to make this Durant move. If you can't make this Durant move, every other move is basically not good enough to get you to great.
Yeah, and I guess the question too that I'll ask you, Big O. I guess since I'm asking you more questions than you're asking me, I'm sorry, but if they don't get Kevin Durant, there's probably better free options in the trade market for replacing PJ. Harrison Barnes is an expiring contract at forward. John Collins is on the trade
Crowder,
block,
right?
Still
available.
Jay Crowder. There are guys that you could trade for to replace PJ that might get you back to where you were last year. But are you willing to trade one of your first-round picks and Duncan's salary? Which Duncan's salary, I know people are eager to get it off the books. It's important in a trade because you need that number to match money with a guy who makes $40 million on a max contract. Are you willing to give away those trade assets to make a move for Harrison Barnes? Or is the Heat's best play to wait for the next superstar that will become available, and then you still have that, on the books that you could still do?
That's
we didn't know Kevin Durant was going to be available, right? A couple weeks ago. I mean, it's the NBA. There are always guys who, I
know, but you can't hold out and wait for the next one when you don't even know when the next one's coming.
It's tough. It's a tough call.
And by the way, we are talking about the team that lives in the moment. They don't do that shit. So they're going to try to be what's best now. And you're right. Unfortunately, if they can't get Durant, they're going to have to go to a secondary move. And the secondary move is just hopes to get you back to where you were.
Sure.
Because the sad part is everybody else in the East got better. Boston got better. So you got other teams that got better throughout it. And that's your problem now. And if the Suns end up getting, Durant, then they got better too. And then that creates another problem for your ass. You know what I mean? And so now it just becomes a harder road for you to win that title if you don't get Durant. And if you're Riley, here's the worst part about it, Anthony. Your time is ticking, dude. You have old players. The window closes, and this coming season is the 4th year of Jimmy Butler. How many more are you going to get out of that body? You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to wait for the 5th year to add that whale, his body may not be available to you in that 5th year, because it's going to happen. Father Time is going to catch up, Anthony, at one point to Jimmy, and he's not going to be able to be the same player, the same force he is around the rim, and he won't have the same kind of power, and maybe his grips on the ball won't be the same anymore, because he's just going to take wear and tear. And that's the risk. If you're Riley, you're running out of time. You're running out of time for this team, because at one point or another, you're going to have to turn them over again.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. And I'm really interested, obviously, once this all kind of gets settled and we know where Kevin Durant's going, if it's not the Heat, what is their backup plan, right? Are they going to be willing to deal away assets that they could use later on for the next star who's available, but they want to make sure that they have the best team possible right now, and they deal away some of those assets? Because you know that if Donovan Mitchell requests a trade in 3 months in November, because the Jazz start 1-12, and the Heat don't have that extra first-round pick to get a deal done because they traded it for Harrison Barnes, that's going to be a conversation that Heat fans are going to be, criticizing the organization for. So it's, I'm sure the team knows, the front office kind of has a feel for if Donovan Mitchell really will become available at some point. I think teams are trying to figure that out. But it's a decision they're going to have to make once Kevin Durant is moved, if it's not the Heat.
With you there. By the way, Liquor Split, download the app, iOS or Android. It is Miami's own liquor store, $2.99 flat fee for the delivery, no surprise charges, and $1 goes to helping homelessness in Miami. So don't drink and drive. If you need a little extra beer, wine, and keep that party going, keep the get-together going, keep that meeting going, don't get behind the wheel for $2.99 a delivery fee. It's ridiculous. Get Liquor Split. Download the app, iOS or Android. All right. We see Levine signing. We see Bradley Beal staying in Loserville. It looks like they're going to build around Donovan. Durant is the guy that we're waiting for. They're not really going to trade for Kyrie because that's a rental till he goes to the Lakers. And that's going to be a really hard move for Brooklyn to trade a guy with that salary and to get anything of value in return. That's going to be near impossible, I think, because everybody knows they're renting him. So, what other whale is there? What other name is there out there? Let's just say you fail on Durant. Is there another name out there? I'm not talking about the Harrison Barnes and the PJ Tucker replacements. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, is there another star out there that we have not thought about?
This offseason, I don't see it. Right.
Okay.
I think, but I mean, there's always Damian Lillard. His name is always going to be there because what is Portland going to do? They're rebuilding. They got Jeremy Grant. I know Damian Lillard is older,
Lowry is not good enough to play off the ball. And so then now you're going to bring Damian Lillard to play off the ball when he's still the better point guard right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of insulting. I don't
it's tough.
I don't think you do that. You can't. If Lowry could play off the ball and he could shoot consistently and score, then I could tell you, yeah, I would go with I could try that trade. But because of that, I can't try that trade, unfortunately, because I there's no way Lillard will want to be put in that kind of a position when he's been the floor general, and you're going to tell him, well, wait a minute, you're not better than this guy, you're not going to start. Right. No, you are better than this guy. You should start over him and run the team. That's where I don't think the Lillard one works.
It might have to be a deal that Kyle is part of. Just like the Kevin Durant deal, where to make the money work, you might need Kyle's salary. Okay. I mean, honestly, that's all I can think of other than the list you just gave. Damian Lillard is the other star that maybe, if things are going to go well in Portland this season, maybe he becomes available. But then again, it's the NBA. there's always this unexpected guy that you don't see coming that says, I'm not happy here. I want to be moved. I could not have told you a year ago that Kevin Durant was going to say, I want to leave Brooklyn after signing a 4-year extension, right, with the team.
Just, man, you're watching Atlanta get better. You're watching Boston get better. You're watching Philly get better. That these are things that are, and I still don't think that Atlanta's at the point where they can beat Miami, but they're pretty damn good now. If they keep Collins, now if they move Collins, and that's another guy we haven't talked about, that's another guy that I would like to get for Miami is John Collins.
Yeah, I mean, he would make sense, especially obviously if you strike out on Kevin Durant and you need a power forward.
Right.
He's young. He's talented. He can shoot, so he fits next to Bam. But that's it. I mean, that's kind of going to be your missing piece then, because you're going to have to trade away assets to get John Collins. You're going to have to trade a pick or two. You're going to have to trade away, big salary that you would need for a bigger trade. So that's the Heat saying, we're going to go with this core plus John Collins, and we think it's enough. So that again, that's a decision. It's a lot easier to make that decision when it's Kevin Durant compared to when it's John Collins. I don't know if John Collins puts them over the top. It fills a need. He's good.
Right.
I know. A need, but I don't know if he makes them a championship rock.
That may be a stretch. You're right about that. All right, what are you working on in the Miami Herald, my man?
Yeah, obviously summer league coverage. We're waiting on Kevin Durant and the whole Caleb Martin situation to be resolved. But until then, covering summer league very closely. I'll be going to Vegas tomorrow. Vegas Summer League starts on Saturday. And today we have one final Summer League game between the Heat and the Warriors from San Francisco before things move over to Vegas. So,
but they're 0-2 right now, right?
0-2. Yep.
The season's over, bro. I mean, that's it.
Why blow it up? Blow it up.
Yeah, blow the whole thing up, bro. They're 0-2, man. Jesus. But the good thing is we get Omer back. Gert and Garrett over in Vegas.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah. Omer should help a lot. He's going to be the Summer League MVP. We'll see just how valuable he is when he steps into that center spot. First game in Vegas, and how much better he makes the team.
I'm headed to Vegas tonight.
Enjoy. I'm going over there tomorrow morning, so I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm going to see Morrissey tomorrow at Caesars. Nice. So I wanted to get there a day early, so I can enjoy a little concert action. So there you go. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. And, of course, subscribe to the Herald, please, and support my man and all the other great writers a part of the Miami Herald. Anthony, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. We'll catch up later in the week.
Definitely. Thanks, so. Thank you. See you in Vegas.
You got it. See you in Vegas. There you go. Anthony Chiang. He'll be out in Vegas, and so will we. That is your Liquor Split Miami Heat and NBA report.